Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to have another lecture on an important aspect of the novel The Inheritance of Loss by Kiran Desai. So today in this lecture I'll be discussing cultural identity. What does the term cultural identity mean? And it would be a very brief lecture though, but still, I would try to make you understand the concept of cultural identity and how one's identity is, directly connected to one's culture. So, without any ado, let's get started with the lecture. As far as cultural identity is concerned, cultural identity basically refers to an identity, or it refers to the feeling of belonging to a particular culture or belonging to a particular group. And since culture comprises one's nationality, religion, ethnicity, everything, let's say one's locality, the place where one lives in, everything. Therefore, this cultural identity is closely related to nationality, ethnicity, religion, place, or locality. As far as the novel The Inheritance of Loss is concerned, we find almost all the characters in the novel, they do face, identity crisis. They do struggle a lot to attain their own identity, and therefore eventually we find that how they kind of get disillusioned. If you look at the novel The Inheritance of Loss, the inheritance of loss, or the predominant, let's say, the themes which pervade the entire novel are, of course, multiculturalism and other post-colonial issues at the same time. Kiran Desai, herself being an eminent immigrant writer, she has always, preferred to focus on human deprivation, the trauma that they undergo, identity crisis, and of course problems related to one's nationality, or maybe experiences related to one's nationality. In fact, in the novel we find that she presents us, a variety of characters who represent diverse cultures, and they belong to different religions, different nationalities. Okay, they have their respective customs, and they have their respective customs, values. So we get to see a diverse section of the Indian society in the novel, and by portraying, like I said, a variety of characters who represent diverse cultures, it gave Kiran Desai the opportunity to also focus on the several multicultural concerns like nationality, identity, ethnic rights, and so on. Now, as far as if I talk about a society, it is always beneficial to have a diversity in a society, because culturalists have they who study culture and its different aspects, they have always believed that it is always beneficial for a society to have diversity, because it benefits the society at large. Now the question is, how can diversity benefit the society at large? If just imagine, if there are a variety of people representing diverse cultures in a society, then in that case it provides us with an opportunity to exchange cultures between one another. Suppose if I belong to a different culture and I have a friend who represents a different culture. So if we live side by side, then we can exchange cultures with one another, and at the same time it would also help us in developing tolerance, understanding, as well as the willingness, to respect the difference that our culture, our respective culture, consists of. Therefore, if it would lead to a cross-cultural exchange, and that would, in the long run, certainly benefit the society at large. Now, if I look at the novel now, then we find that the characters, they are almost, like, especially if I talk about Jemu Bhai Patel and Biju, we find them that how they are caught between cultures and homelands. Like Jemu Bhai Patel. He's an Indian. First of all, he was in India, and then he went to Britain. Okay, in order to become a judge, he studied at the Cambridge University, and there he came across, a very bitter experience being an Indian because of his race, and which means the color of his skin. How he was looked down upon, and how, days after days, he simply did not have anyone to interact with or to talk to. So then if I talk about Biju goes to America, okay, and attempts to pursue the American dream. But as a result of his disillusionment, what happens? He finally comes back to India and feels proud to be a part of his own culture, or he begins to appreciate his own culture. Biju's experience in New York, makes him suffer from a sense of alienation, a sense of displacement. Now, again, the question that comes here is, what makes these people, suffer from this alienation and displacement? So the answer is, it is their craving, you can say, or it is their, urge to absorb a separate culture other than the one which is actually their own culture. So it is their longing to be a part of, or to embrace another culture, that finally makes them suffer from this displacement as well as alienation. And in making an attempt, to embrace a separate culture, what they do, their native identity gets transformed, and there in the foreign country, they become a kind of westernized native. Though they struggle hard to be a part of their to be a part of this Western culture when they move to a foreign country, but we find how that country is completely reluctant to accept them as one of them. And this is what we see in case of Biju, the cook's son, in the novel. And when they move to this country, to a foreign country, we find that they are, all of them, they get haunted by questions related to their identity, related to their existence, like, who am I, where do I belong to, or what is my culture? And therefore, it creates an immense vacuum, it creates an immense emptiness in them. And they gradually, get alienated from everything around them. So, in the novel, The Inheritance of Loss, this cultural identity is brilliantly explored by Kiran Desai. And what she attempts to do is that how, when people from the third world countries, what happens, like when they go to a foreign country to gain financial success, to make money, okay, what kind of consequences or what kind of experiences do they undergo? And then we find that they witness, or they encounter different forms of prejudices from multicultural societies that are living abroad, like we saw in case of Jemu Bhai Patel, and we also saw in case of Biju. And the result is that they never feel, comfortable, and they never feel at home in a foreign country, and which makes them suffer from a kind of extreme form of isolation, loneliness, okay, and they become very much conscious of it. So it becomes a kind of, it prevails, this emptiness, this vacuum that this feeling of alienation makes them feel. It prevails through their consciousness. So therefore we can see that it is actually, desirable to have diversity. So I find that there is a social message that is conveyed by Kiran Desai through her novel, The Inheritance of Loss. What she tries to convey, the message that she tries to convey is that it is preferable, it is always desirable to have diversity in society. And we should be always ready, to accept this diversity, and we should also learn to respect the difference that would always come along with this diversity. Then only, it would benefit the society, the world at large. So all the characters in the novel we find suffer from a sense of displacement, suffer from a sense of alienation, and most importantly, they suffer from a kind of ambivalence, and that finally, makes them develop a sense of loss. So here in the novel we find that the characters and the diverse communities that is depicted in the novel, they all go through the examination of their history, their past life, their present life, and their inheritance, their manners, and of course, and most importantly, their culture. So in the novel we find that culture and identity, both play a very important role in contributing to an individual's self-perception. So this is what I had to say about cultural identity, and like I said, we come across a diverse section of Indian society who represent different cultures, who belong to different cultures. They have whose nationalities are also, whose nationality is also different from one another. They have different religions, and all these characters, all these people belonging to different or representing diverse cultures are brought under the same roof in order to explore the concept of cultural identity, and that is brilliantly done by Kiran Desai in her novel The Inheritance of Loss. So I hope you like the lecture, and if you find it helpful, do like it, share it, and please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Until then, bye bye.